I guess we can kind of dig into. I just have a lot of questions going all the way back to when you founded Digital Wildcatters. So when y'all first started like the podcast, was it actually like Digital Wildcatters a company, or was it, hey, we're just doing a podcast, and that kind of grew to the point where I was like, oh, this is like a business, and then you sort of formalize the company and all that stuff?
Yeah. No, Digital Wildcatters wasn't a business when we started the podcast. Oil and gas startups came before Digital Wildcatters. I was actually just sitting in the coffee shop one day and I thought of Digital Wildcatters, and I bought the domain because I thought it sounded cool. And so I owned the domain, but we started the podcast before. And, here's my thing. I believe that content is the highest form of leverage of our generation. You look at from an investor perspective, I have friends that run wildly profitable commercial real estate funds that are getting all of their LPs and their investors from Twitter. And so producing content just, creates this opportunity. And so I knew back in 2018, I was like, hey, if we just create and provide value to the ecosystem, we'll be able to build something off the back of that. And when I decided to go full time on it, what really opened up my eyes is, if you know Barstool Sports got acquired in December 2019, I believe, by Penn National. And Penn National was a casino. And I was like, why the hell is Penn National acquiring Barstool Sports? And I went and tore apart their investor relations deck, and it was just full of gold for me, because essentially what Penn National wanted to do, they had a gambling gap. And to take it to market, they had to go against DraftKings and FanDuel. And so they needed a way to get distribution. So they go acquire Barstool Sports. Now, all of a sudden, they have this massive content arm and this super engaged community and millions of impressions. And that opened up my eyes, because I was like, oh, you can build community and a network through content and media. And then once you build that community, you can actually build tech products that serve that community. And so that's actually our thesis. We're actually rolling this out over the next few weeks. So if anyone's on this call, I'd appreciate getting in our core user group. But we built an app called Collide, which is a knowledge sharing platform for energy professionals. And it's if you're familiar with tech, it's kind of like the Stack Overflow for the energy industry. And so to answer your question, Taylor, like, yeah, when I started the podcast, like, no, I never thought we'd be building tech products off of it. I just knew that, hey, if we put out content, we'll be able to build something off of the back of this in the future. And it's pretty funny, because the first check that we ever got for a sponsorship, we didn't have an entity. And so we couldn't go open up a bank account. So I had no way to cash this check. And so I'm a big believer in you just ship shit and you figure out things along the way. So I actually appreciated that, Taylor, when you're talking, giving the intro to this. You're like, I don't know what we're really doing. We're just kind of doing it and seeing what happens.